I'm back. Ohio to Georgia today. Over 600 miles. No breakdowns. It's a good day. But now it's time for the Word of God. Psalms chapter 21, verse 5. Your victory brings him great honor, and you have clothed him with splendor and majesty. Now remember, we're not looking at this like David is talking about himself. We're looking at this as if he's talking about King Messiah, Melech Mashiach in Hebrew. So let's continue to look at King Messiah. Now this verse, it intrigues me because it talks about God's victory, giving this king honor. Yes, we know that David received great honor for God's victories that he gave him. But this last line here makes me think about Jesus. And it says, and you have clothed him with splendor and majesty. I can't help but think of John's vision when he is on the Isle of Patmos and he turned around and saw the glorified King. Now this is how John described Jesus in his glorified form. He saw him in all his splendor and majesty. John wrote in chapter 1 of Revelation in verse 12 to 16, when I turned to see who was speaking to me, I saw 7 gold lampstands, and standing in the middle of the lampstands was someone like the Son of Man. He was wearing a long robe with a gold sash across his chest. His head and his hair were white like wool, as white as snow, and his eyes were like flames of fire. His feet were like polished bronze, refined in a furnace, and his voice thundered like the mighty ocean waves. He held 7 stars in his right hand, and a sharp 2-edged sword came from his mouth, and his face was like the sun in all its brilliance. So who was John describing here? Who was he talking about? Who was this one who looked like the Son of Man? In verses 17 and 18, this glorified king, this glorified man, identified himself to John. When I saw him, I fell at his feet as if I were dead. But he laid his right hand on me and said, don't be afraid. I am the first and the last. I am the living one. I died, but look, I am alive forever and ever, and I hold the keys of death and the grave. God's great victory in raising Jesus from the dead gave him great honor, splendor, and majesty. Jesus in all his splendor and majesty is seated at the right hand of God, where he will reign forevermore.